Hello fam, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Today, I'd like to talk about, at least to start, because you know how I do, wandering all over the place, exploring the intersection between beginner's mind, which is basically a willingness to learn, assuming you don't know everything and being open to reinterpretations of your current beliefs. The intersection between that and intuition and trusting our intuition. This is something I am still struggling with and I don't have answers for. But I think it's important to talk about, and maybe in talking it through, we will learn something and kind of be able to begin to tease something usable out of the conversation, right? So this is coming up because I just talked about intuition and how to learn how to feel it and then believe in it, even if there is logical evidence to the contrary of what you're feeling. And I do think that's important, and I live with that. But at the same time, I think it's important to be open to new information changing what you know. And it's really difficult. So I've had this book for, I don't know how many years, many years. And I just recently decided to actually read it. After reading one of his other books, I think it's called Everything is Fucked, a book about hope. And yeah, that is. And then his podcast, I listened to his podcast for a while. But for some reason, this book, which is what attracted me to him in the first place, I put off reading for literally years, many years. Let's see here. I'm not going to waste time figuring out when I got this, but let's just say 7 years. That seems about right. But we all know how I am with time, so take that with a dash of salt. But when I was reading it, I got this far. This is the end part. So I got like 2/3 or just over halfway through it. And then I got triggered, like really triggered. And I stopped reading it like several weeks ago. And this is what triggered me. There's a lot of conventional wisdom out there telling you to trust yourself, to go with your gut, and all sorts of other pleasant sounding cliches. So that number one is like, you know how I feel about intuition and trusting your gut. But perhaps, and then this is Mark Manson again, but perhaps the answer is to trust yourself less. After all, if our hearts and minds are so unreliable, maybe we should be questioning our own intentions and motivations more. If we're all wrong all the time, then isn't self-skepticism and the rigorous challenging of our own beliefs and assumptions the only logical route to progress? This may sound scary and self-destructive. It does, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's not only the safer option, but it's liberating as well. Well, it did not feel liberating when I read that. It felt terrifying, and here's why. As a neurodivergent person, I've known that I am different from a majority of humans since I was very young. I just don't react to things the same way. I just am able to tell that I'm experiencing life differently than a lot of people. And so I translated that into I'm wrong. And I have spent a majority of my life going along with what other people think is right, because I think that my experience is somehow like damaged or incorrect, or I don't know. And so I have been like basically just like doubting my own interpretation in relationships and stuff, and being gaslit. I've spent a lot of my life being gaslit by partners and friends and teachers. And as I've been on this self-discovery journey, I've been learning just how often that my interpretation was actually correct. And sometimes it doesn't even matter whether I'm right or not. It's just how I feel. And so, yeah, I got really triggered by that statement, and I stopped reading it. But I feel like at the same time, I do know that beginner's mind is also really important, and it really frustrates me when other people aren't open to seeing their own folly or seeing another way of doing things. And I am really open to other ways of doing things if they make more sense. But they have to feel right for me, and they have to make more sense than what I'm already doing, or the way I think doing it should be done. Or I think I got lost in the weeds there. I don't, but you know what I mean, I think. So what do we do? Like, how do we marry these two concepts together? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Well, I think part of it is separating out intuition from fear. That is a super important distinction that I think a lot of the science doesn't do. I think science treats maybe what your ego tells you, your amygdala tells you, and what your gut tells you as like the same thing. And part of the problem with that is that a lot of people don't know the difference either, because they haven't spent as much time in their own minds exploring and unraveling things and seeing how each part works and interacts with each other. I think most people aren't that acquainted with their own body and psyche because they don't need to be to survive. Like, everything works more or less functionally. And so they haven't done all the deep diving into themselves that I have done, and that many neurodivergent people have done. So yeah, I think that is the first step. And two, you also have to decide, like, even if something makes more logical sense, it may benefit you to accept its truth, it doesn't mean you have to like accept it into your life, if that makes sense. So a mindset that I'm working on recently. I do feel like I need to change my relationship with money, and I've talked about, let me get this band on my braid real quick, and then I'll show you the book. I have read this book all the way through. I have her audiobook of it as well. I've listened to some episodes of her podcast. I really like her, Kate Northrup. She's a delight. And this book is great. I have not done all the exercises as much as I should have, and they're great. She encourages you to journal, and she has like all these exercises throughout the book with questions like, self-care makes me think of, when I think about loving myself, I feel the reason I don't care for myself as well as I could is I could love myself and value myself more by. So I pulled this out, and I think once I finish The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck and its companion journal, which I also have and have never cracked open and read. Maybe I'll do that right now while you're with me. I got it at the same time I got the book, so it's also been on my shelf for all these years. Oops, I didn't mean to put those there. Oh well, I'll deal with that later. Okay, so here's the journal. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, I love it. Your bucket list. Okay, now that we've spewed out all the things we're grateful for in our lives, let's consider the other side of the coin. Much of not giving a fuck is correctly identifying the people and things in your life that are not adding value or helping you as a person, and then letting go of them. And this is where intuition comes in, like, and somatic sensing in your body, like, does this bring me joy and does it not? Oh yeah, and another book that goes along with that is Marie Kondo's book, which I cannot remember the title of, but it's about decluttering, and it is all about things that bring you joy. And so, God damn it, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, okay. So the money thing, I do need to change my my relationship with money, but thanks to Kara Loewenthiel on Fuck Your Brain podcast, she had an episode all about how you need to learn how to be happy now before everything you want comes to fruition. Because if you don't learn to be happy in your current circumstance, when you get all the stuff you've been asking for, you're not going to be happy then either. There's always going to be more to add. It's never going to be enough. You have to learn to have enough now and to be happy now, so that when all that stuff comes in, you're not still like, well, that's great that I have that, but now I have, now I need this much, or now blah, 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 you know? And so I have been working on increasing my joy, and it has been working. Like, I am literally the happiest I've ever been. My circumstances have not changed, really. I still don't make as much money as I'd like. My house is still in need of some repairs. My yard is still super out of control, and I currently don't feel like I have the budget to support hiring people to care for it for me. So that is time spent doing something where I could be spending that time on my art channel, or this channel, optimizing any of those. So it's all a balance, but I am learning to be happy anyway. Like, yeah, all that's true. So what? I still have it really good. I still have electricity. Like, look at all these lights. And I am so grateful for LED lights. Like, I love light. I love it. And I love warm light. And I love that LED lights come. Like, I get these light bulbs from Costco that have a little slider on the base that allows you to choose your light temperature. And I really like warm light, so I slide it to the warm end of the spectrum. And I have roses growing in my backyard that bring me so much joy. And I think I'll put some pictures of them next to me when I'm editing this. And other flowers. I have all this amazing art in my studio here where I'm recording. My Little Ponies back there, you can see. All these books that I talk about, I have all of those. I have so much cool, fun stuff that I love and that brings me value and joy, and like being like seeing that stuff and appreciating it and accepting that I have it and allowing myself to just be happy with it. And that is it too, like allowing myself. It's weird, but I feel like a lot of us feel this pressure to be more, have more, do more in order to be happy. And it's like a weird external pressure almost to have all that. Like you can't be happy unless, but that's not true. It's not true. You can't, you're allowed to be happy right now. I give you permission. I give myself permission. I hope you give yourself permission as well to just be happy just because you want to. So what if like so much is going wrong in the world and in your personal life? So what? Does that mean that you have to be miserable? It doesn't. It doesn't. And that actually brings me to another topic that I wanted to discuss. Another thing that Kara Loewenthiel of Unfuck Your Brain taught me, and that is ladder thoughts. And ladder thoughts are super important for like affirmations and like manifesting, because if we don't believe what we're telling ourselves, then it actually has the opposite effect, because we build arguments against what we're trying to tell ourselves. Like if I had gone from my belief that I was ugly and tried to tell myself that I was beautiful, like that would just not have, like, then my brain would have been like, no, you're not. Like that is not true. Like it would have rejected it and it would have made me feel worse. So a ladder thought is like a little baby step of a thought in the direction that you want to go. So like in that case, I'd be like, I am average looking, like from ugly to average. I am not the ugliest person in the world. I am average. And that feels okay. That feels true, actually. I can accept that. So you practice that until it feels like just totally normal. And then you can bump it up. Like, I'm slightly above average looking. And you do that until it feels good and natural. And you work your way up to beautiful. Or whatever it is you're trying to get yourself to believe. And then it's like really integrated in your body. And you do believe it. And it feels good. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. Hopefully that wasn't too meandering. Like I don't even remember everything I said. So hopefully you got some value out of that. Thank you so much for being here, especially if you're still here at the end. And if you are still here at the end, then please subscribe so you won't miss the next one. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be wealthy, may you feel at ease. I love you. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.